Qapla!
I'm going to take this opportunity, however, to suggest that we all hail Garuda. Oh, that's all I'm saying.
Forgive me, Doctor. I'm receiving a number of distress calls. I don't doubt it.
Y'all remember to tip your waitresses. Have a mighty fine night.
You come in peace, surrender or be destroyed. Here to make war, we surrender. Important things are new people.
When the appointed hour arrives, the Marauders will deactivate their cloaking devices and begin transporting Klingon shock troops directly to the landing zone.
Landing zone? Where? Tell me.
Why not? Your feeble weapons will be useless against us. We will kill all your males and take your females to mate with.
All right. Now the Federation's taking over, whether you like it or not. You people, you've been running this planet like a seaport planet. From now on, it's going to be under one roof. You're going to run it like a business. That means you're going to make a profit.
Look at these 3 words written larger than the rest, with a special pride never written before, or since. Tall words, proudly saying, "We the people."
Hi, I'm Nicole DeBoer. I played Lieutenant Esri Dax on DS9, and I welcome you to Birdo Prey 5 channel. Hail Karoga.
Hello world, it's Birdo Prey 5, Qapla, and welcome to Bed Life for Labor Day, September 5th, 2022, and thank you for giving me a second to center myself on camera, something I apparently neglected to do before starting today. Yeah, it's one of those days. Well, it's Labor Day. John Meyer was first in the chat with a very important and very happy update. He said, for those of you who caught the very tail end of Michael, aka Salty Tracker's, church life, my father is fine and will be released from the hospital tomorrow or the next day. John, thank you so much for that update. I did catch, actually I was there for pretty much all of church life yesterday, and I was there, of course, when Salty gave some prayers to your dad, and I was very concerned. He had gone in the hospital, so I'm very happy to know that he's okay, and thank you for letting me know, and we can let the community know. Prayers, I don't know, prayers answered, but certainly seeming like a good outcome. To only be a day or two in the hospital for what might have been something more serious, pretty good outcome. And I'm not going to uncross my fingers, John, just yet, not till he's home, but certainly happy for you. Gorilla's Random Thoughts says, hello world. Oh, it's that dime gorilla again. Darn gorilla. Don't worry, gorilla. It's always good to have you here. Moxley fans says, happy Labor Day all. Qapla, Moxley. And John DeMarco says, greetings to everyone. Greetings, John. Moxley, you might not even know the true story for Labor Day.
Oh, yeah.
I will let everybody know. Oh, shit. Kissing Dax. Worf donated $1.49 and got us Kissing Dax and says Galron was a coward and almost cost the Empire in the Dominion War. He squandered Klingon lives for his personal glory. No wonder a sleazy guy would hail Karoga. You and Gowron are without honor. You should be Romulans. Wow. Salty. I didn't realize you were so upset over this still. I am surprised. But thank you, Worf, for that $1.49 donation. I do appreciate it, and I think everybody appreciates a little kissing Dax on this Labor Day of all days. Thank you. So yeah, we'll get the true story, the true history of Labor Day. It's actually not as old a holiday as you might have thought, and really has nothing to do with business or labor or unions or any of the crap you might have been taught in school. Mike Richards says, greetings from Columbus, Ohio. Birdo Pray 5 and chat. Greetings, Mike Richards. Qapla. Mr. Londell says, Qapla, Qapla. Mr. Londell. Arabic Sonder says, Qapla, Qapla, Arabic Sonder. Gorilla says, that's great news to John Meyer. Indeed it is. Indeed it is. John DeMarco says, hey to Mike Richards. Says hello back. Moxley fan says, greetings from Texas. Yes, Hammond from Texas. Arabic Sonder says hello to John. DeMarco, who says hey back. Arabic says hey to Mike Richards and hey to Gorilla. Deej Odyssey is in the house. Qapla Deej coming on after his 48-hour live stream ended yesterday, and I and others were concerned for his well-being. It's good to hear and see you. He was in the LDG's backstage where I was up to just a couple minutes ago, and Deej is sounding good today and all happy. He seems to be doing much better now that he got some sleep. So good, Deej, and I'm glad. Seemed like your stream went well in the end. I hope it was good for you as it was for us, Deej. So Deej says good afternoon to everybody. Nicole Malo says, where does this fuse go? Bends over to light fuse. I guess we'll find out. That is one way of doing it. Arabic says Qapla Miss Londell. Resolute Germ says hello, Qapla Resolute Germ. Good to see you. Moxie fan says Bird of Prey. Qapla Bird, happy Labor Day. Hope you and the family are doing well today. Thank you, Moxley. I am still getting over some sort of infection, but I feel, knocking wood, I feel pretty good today compared to the last week. Arabic says hey to Deej. Mike Richards says greetings. Deej says hey back. Moxley says happy Labor Day all. We, the people. Indeed, although Labor Day, nothing to do with we the people. 4th of July, much more we the people holiday than Labor Day. Gap After Dark says Qapla Bird, Qapla Gap After Dark. LDG at hashtag free the net. Waves Qapla LDG. Yvette says good evening, Bird, and everyone. Good evening, Yvette. Deej says here I thought we was getting a mime o pray 5. Mime o pray. I'm not in whiteface, so I can't be a mime. But if you want, I can be. What's this? I'm going up a long rope. I'm climbing a rope. Now I'm a butterfly. Yeah, no, I don't. I've never tried to be a mime before. Cinnamon Bunny says happy day to all the moms going into labor today. You see, Cinnabon knows what it means. Indeed. Happy Labor Day to all the moms going into labor today. Deej Odyssey says hey to Mike Richards. Arabic says hey to Yvette. Gap says Deej. Deej says it's not my kid, Cinnabon. Deej is the father. I saw a poster that had a kid that looked a lot like Charlie saying, "Where's my daddy?" And it had a picture of Deej underneath, said wanted for back child support. I don't know. I'm just saying I've seen these things. They exist. Who am I to argue with a sign I saw on the internet? Deej is the daddy, says Cinnabon. It's Deej's day, says Cinnabon as well. Wow. Hello, everybody. Hello. Everybody saying hello to everybody. Cinnabon says Deej failed 96 hours and has to watch Jody Doctor. I don't think it was 96 hours. Arabic Saunders says Qapla to Jedi Bill, brother warrior. Qapla, Jedi Bill, brother warrior. Also Jedi Bill, the generous. Jedi Bill, the glorious. Jedi Bill, Jedi Bill, the conqueror. Jedi Bill, the person who personally, I believe 7 or 8 subscriptions, gifted subscriptions. Thank you again so much, Jedi Bill. We have so many people this month who have their first time subscription to the channel. Thanks to Jedi Bill. It is deeply appreciated. T-Berg Sci-Fi Tech, the latest person to pick up a subscription, thanks to Jedi Bill. So if you guys got a new subscription and you didn't buy it yourself, it's likely from Jedi Bill. Gorilla says, hey to Gap. Deej says, no, he's not the father. Thomas Potts says, hashtag timeout for Deej for not doing 96 hours. 96 hours was never on the table. And what's Thomas? Thomas also says, what, something, oh, hello to Jedi Bill. And to Cinnabon. Cinnabon, of course, says he's a perfect angel. Deej says, hashtag timeout for Thomas. A lot of people using those timeouts. Josh Street says, Jedi Bill, you missed Bird Prey showing Twilight yesterday. It was Twilight Zone, the movie, not Twilight. No, Mama Prey. Take the camera off, but you wouldn't show up anyway. I don't think you would. I showed Twilight Zone, the movie, Josh Street, not Twilight, the movie. Very big difference between the two. Jedi Bill says hello to Josh Street. Deej lols. Cinnabon says you're milking a bull. No, I wasn't milking a bull. God damn it! I was climbing a rope. I could do milking a bull, but that would be a much more grotesque mime. This is not mime after dark. This is prime time miming. I can't just do that. Josh reads says, Captain Birdo Prey, are you planning on doing Picard maneuver in your captain's chair? I kind of did it already. Jedi Bill says hello to Gorilla. Mark Galaduck, Qapla Mark Galaduck says happy Labor Day to fellow Americans. Thank you, Mark. Absolutely. And Deej says, I made that sign, you son of a bitch. Deej, I don't know who made the sign. The point is, I saw the sign. That's all I'm saying.
I saw Charlie at the computer doing something.
Mama Praise saw Charlie at the computer doing something. Who knows? Who knows who made the sign? That's all I'm saying. It's not about who made the sign. It's about the fact that the sign existed and I saw it. Jedi Bill says hello to Mark Galaduck. And Professor Brainy Specs says Qapla Professor. A rare loss for me last night on A Question of Trek. A rare loss. Very, very sad. I think there's still some problem with raising the shields. It just doesn't make sense that if we raise the shields and then we get the next question right, we're still down 1 point at the end of the round. What the hell is the point of raising the shields if we're still down a point? Although I think I know what it was. The other team got the answer right even after we raised the shield. Thanks to me saying what I thought the answer was, I probably shouldn't have said it. I probably should not have said that it was the Franklin, but it was really confusing me because was I thinking Franklin because it was really what was the answer, or because Jeff Franklin was the name of the person who was doing the scoreboard and my brain was shorting out. And Zoe wasn't sure for the first time that I've ever known her. Zoe didn't know the answer to a question. Even if I gave her the answer, it still didn't sound right. So I don't know. You know, I guess it was just a perfect crime. And then Zoe also, and poor Zoe, who's still suffering from long COVID, also didn't know the one thing that she blows everybody else away at, which is the pixelized, which I admit I have no clue. I see those pixelized images and I don't even know if I'm looking at a person or a ship or a tricorder. I just see nonsense. And right away, not only does she know who it is, she knows what episode and what they're wearing. And I'm like, what the fuck? Who even sees that? I just see a box. But apparently other people do. And damn it, she is the best I've ever seen at that game. But even last night, she couldn't get that. I obviously wasn't going to get it, but she didn't have a clue with that. And I had the right answer, but I wasn't sure on who the other person in the transporter buffer with Scotty was. It turned out to be Franklin. And but I said Franklin, but she didn't think it was Franklin. So I was only 50% sure. So we passed, we raised shields, and the other team got it, and they said, oh, Franklin, though they didn't really seem to have that much of a great idea on it. And it turned out it was right. And right from there, like 3 questions in, the momentum shifted, and we were playing catch up instead of leading at that point, and we were never able to catch up. So a rare loss and a question of Trek. Of course, earlier in the week, or actually the end of last week, I did get champion standing in Jeopardy for winning a round there. So it's not a total wasted week for me in terms of Trek game shows, but I was surprised because especially that question of Trek, where almost every other question they asked, I knew the answer almost immediately. That was the one question, 2 questions that really caused me to use my brain hard. That's proper English, right? Use my brain hard. What do we got? John DeMarco saying hey to the professor. John saying hey to Deej. Professor Brainy Specs says hello, Mom O'Prey. Qapla, Professor. And Jedi Bill says, my pleasure as always, Bert O'Prey. And everyone, hail Karoga. Hail Karoga. Sis O'Prey and Nephew O'Prey. Saturday, they went up to Karoga, the real Karoga, in upstate New York. Charlie took his place in the ancestral homelands of Karoga for the first time. He touched Karogan soil, put his hands in Karogan dirt, and just made his home up in Karoga. 4 generations now have visited Karoga, and right, yeah, he's the 4th generation now to visit Karogan lands, and hopefully not the last, but in all likelihood the last, until I I I retake Karoga one day. One day. Anyway. Gorilla says, what sign? Unfortunately, Gorilla, as far as I know, the sign only exists now in Deej's 2nd or 3rd stream from his 48-hour stream. Deej says, Charlie was not up at 1 a.m. making a sign from Bird's computer. Well, Deej, you really can't be sure, can you? Thomas Potts says, Bird of Prey, how didn't you know it was Franklin, you fool? I thought it was Franklin. I just wasn't sure it was Franklin. Obviously, I said Franklin. I was the first one to say it. Thomas Potts says, Deej, so you're saying Mamo Prey lie. Uh-oh.
What?
I don't know. Deej says, Gorilla thoughts Bird was on my 48-hour live stream Saturday night, and he made a sign with a kid looking for his daddy with a picture of me on it. Well, how do you know I did it, though, Deej? Were you watching me? Were you watching my hands? Professor Brady Specs says, Bird of Prey, the point is, if you think the other team doesn't know the answer, then they don't get the point, and hopefully you know the answer to the next question. I get it. So if the other team has to lose the point. And Cinnabon says, to be fair, Bird was asleep on the panel when the sign was made. There you go. Proof. Jedi Bill says, hail to Professor Brainy Specs. And Deej says, John was on the live stream watching him make it too at the time, but John can't confirm whose hands were operating the mouse and keyboard. I don't even think I was on the stream, right? Did I say anything? No, I don't think I did. I don't think I appeared on the stream. I don't think I said anything on the stream. Who's the hell did even know that I was there? I don't even know what you're talking about. Thomas says, I didn't sleep on Deej's stream, Bird. What was Salty talking about? Me, I was sleeping at the time, Bird. Deej Odyssey says, breaking news. Russia bans actors Sean Penn and Ben Stiller. Wait, why do I really care? Never mind. Yeah, who gives a shit? Why would either of those people willingly go to Russia at this point? And John DeMarco can confirm the existence of the sign. Thank you, John. And there it is, proof Deej is the father. Tim Chris says, Bird, I can't wait to join in on Deej's 96-hour doctor stream. That will be something. Professor Bird of Prey, Franklin deserved better. Yes, I said that. Sounds like another conspiracy, says Cinnabon. It might be. Deej says, you spoke in the morning, thanking me for noticing the people going by your house in the middle of the night. Well, yeah, you told me that people walk by my house in the middle of the night, but that doesn't mean I created the sign. And thank you, Mike Richards, for taking care of some more bots. Even though it is subscriber only mode, we still got some bots. Thank you, though, Mike Richards. Oh, okay. Let's check out what's going on today. Besides being Labor Day, it is an International Day of Charity, which is, that's good. Of course, Labor Day, I guess, takes second fiddle to International Day of Charity for whatever reason. Also, besides being Labor Day, it is National Cheese Pizza Day. And just to be clear, they both have the same number of shares. So, I mean, I'm forced to draw the conclusion that National Cheese Pizza Day is equally important as Labor Day. I don't know. It's National Mouth Guard Day. Let's encourage people to wear mouth guards to reduce the risk of broken teeth and jaws. When are you supposed to wear these? All the time? I mean, what the hell? It's National Be Late for Something Day. Well, hey, this is a day created for Sissel Prey. Be Late for Something Day. More like Be Late for Anything Day. Wow. So this is tardiness is the new black. Take time to waste a moment. I'll be honest, it's not really my favorite day. And if I saw somebody celebrating this day, I might not be so inclined to hire them. But on the other hand, apparently it's very hard to hire anybody right now. So what you gonna do? National Cellulite Day. Jesus Christ. Let's explore the history and significance of cellulite and embrace our unique bodies. Wow. If that was not coming from the Disney writers' room or the next Captain Marvel or something, I don't know what the hell has more wokeness on it than National Cellulite Day. And it's not bring awareness to cellulite and how to prevent it. It's bring awareness to cellulite and how we can explore something that makes us unique and embrace it. Listen, I'm all for encouraging and embracing things that make you unique, and God knows my skin, which has been, defined, not defined, has been reclined, no, not reclined. Missing word. Compared to the surface of the moon. I get it. Sometimes people get cellulite. It's not even that big of a turnoff for me. But it's also not something I would celebrate. I'm just saying. National Child Protection Week. Join us in this annual nationwide campaign to keep children safe and secure. Going to be honest, not the biggest week in Kuroga. I mean, we have National Protect Children in the Mines Week, but National Child Protection Week, we protect all of our children by putting them in the mines away from anybody who might hurt them, if they don't have parents. If they do have parents, then it's the parents' job to protect them, and they don't need to work in the mines. National Shrink Day, and no, it's not like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids Day. It's a day to celebrate going to therapy or getting psychoanalyzed. Today is your chance to acknowledge and share your appreciation for these indispensable professionals. Indispensable. I guess we know who wrote this article. Someone who themselves was a shrink. Saint Teresa's Canonization Day in Albania. Only Albania, apparently. Let us pray and seek blessings from Mother Teresa this Saint Teresa Canonization Day. Okay, I'm for that. It is also the West Indian Day Parade in New York City, and I assume maybe someplace else. West Indian culture is beautiful and multifaceted. But what do we mean by West Indian? They mean the West Indies, as in where Christopher Columbus first arrived, Haiti, Dominican Republic, places like that. The West Indies. It is a big parade day in New York City today. It's also World Samosa Day. I thought samosas were drinks. Apparently, they look like wontons. I have no effing idea what a samosa is. Mimosa. What's the difference? Mimosa, samosa. It sounds the same. And then we get some birthdays, which, other than Bob Newhart, I've never heard of any of these people. Anyway, so those are the days for today. But let's do today's Wordle. And I will tell you while I do Wordle about the true history of Labor Day. And the truth is, Labor Day didn't become, even wasn't recognized. In fact, the first Labor Day was celebrated in 1978. Oh, great. I put in the word tread, not a single letter. November, in fact, 1978. Labor Day was first celebrated on the 13th of November when Mama Pray went into labor with yours truly. And the doctor said, Mama Pray, you're having labor pains. Don't you feel it? And she's like, the hell I don't. Because Mama Pray never actually felt any labor pains for me because I was just that good of a baby. I didn't hurt Mama Pray. And they're like, no, you're in labor. And she's like, no, I'm playing cards against my husband. And would you win with what?
Winning.
You were winning too. She was playing rummy. And she was winning. And they were like, come on, you got to go give birth. And she's like, no, I got to win this game. And she did. She won. Lousy. Anyway, she's like, I can't believe this whole lousy day is going to go on and all I'm going to get is a baby.
Oh, stop.
And anyway, so the doctor was like, well, we can spice the day up somehow. And she's like, how? And the doctor said, well, we can call it Labor Day because you were in labor for like several hours, even though she didn't feel it. So she's like, okay, we'll call it Labor Day. And he's like, well, how are you going to celebrate this in the future? And she's like, well, it's November. It's cold, but it's not winter cold necessarily. He's like, we could probably get one more good night of barbecuing in or something. So I was like, we'll celebrate with hamburgers and hot dogs, like a summer holiday, but not quite summer, like one last huzzah before the snow comes. And so that's what they did. And for 4 or 5 years, Labor Day was actually celebrated November 13th. But then Reagan got into office. And, while I'm a big fan of President Reagan, and, he survived an assassination attempt, and his wife was all into astrology, and he had some weird, Reagan himself saw UFOs from a plane. Of course, he dare not talk about it, but he saw UFOs. And he told that joke about outlawing the Soviet Union, and the bombing begins in 15 minutes, and it went out live over satellite. and like really scary. It was hilarious, but it was scary too. You know, I'm sure it must have been scary if you were in the Soviet Union and you heard that, even as a joke, that the other country was going to start the bombing in 15 minutes. Anyway, the point being, as much as I love Ronald Reagan, you got to admit his mind was slipping there at the end. I mean, not as much as our current president, but, you know, enough. Anyway, Ronald got into got a little confused. Had a senior moment, you know, towards the end of his second term, and he accidentally called Sunday in September Labor Day, and instead of in November. And rather than admit he was wrong, because we couldn't show weakness in front of the Soviets, Congress and whatever just decided that from then on, Labor Day, which admittedly had been created as a day solely for Mamo Pray and to mark my birth, was moved to a random Sunday in September, Monday in September, based on, you know, the size of the moon and when Halley's Comet is coming. The point is, you never exactly know when it's going to be until they publish the calendars for the next year. But it's sometime around the beginning of the month in September, possibly even the end of August, sometimes the second week of September. Nobody really knows. You wait till it gets published, and that's it. What's that?
You said something that reminded me. I have a Mamo Pray.
Oh, good.
Later on.
A little later on, Mamo Pray has a tale. Kronos, if you're here, you're welcome.
You said something that.
Good. I'm glad I did, because I'm
That
glad you have a tale.
a true tale.
A true tale. What you say that as if what I'm saying isn't true.
Oh, no, of course.
Anyway, let's see. So anyway, that's basically what happened. And so then also, because of Democrats in the Senate and the House, you know, it's hard to get this approved. But in order to save face, you know, we compromise with them. And so rather than it be about me and Mamo Pray, the Democrats, you know, bowing to their union overlords, who at the time were the biggest contributors to Democrats, they co-opted the holiday and instead made it about union membership and bullshit about American labor. And don't get me wrong, it's all nice and good to have a holiday for labor, but let's face it, the people that do the most physical labor really don't get the benefit of the holiday. They're going into work anyway, right? Retailers, food workers, they don't get the day off. Who gets the days off? Office workers. Office workers are doing very little actual labor to begin with. Why the hell do they need the day off? The people doing the hard work, they're still expected to show up at work. So, I mean, it makes no sense if you think about it until you realize that it was never about the working man and woman. It was about me and Mamo Pray. But, you know, because we compromised and we didn't want the Russians, the Soviets, to know that our president, when we still looked at our president with love, whether we were a Democrat or a Republican, liberal or a conservative or a moderate, you know, we respected the office too much. to worry ourselves about things like the truth. Instead, we did what we had to do, and sometimes you win some, sometimes you lose some. So while the nation won a holiday and got to save face, myself and Mamo Pray, we lost Labor Day. So it is what it is. We will be doing Dear Bops today, Moxley. We will be doing Dear Bops. There's at least 8 Dear Bops in the email, in the mail bin. So, John DeMarco says, that is to say, I can confirm that I watched the creation of the sign when Bird's avatar was on the screen. But an avatar, anybody's avatar, could be on the screen. That proves nothing. Professor Brainy Speck says, Bird of Prey, Cinnabon has created yet another conspiracy. It's only a conspiracy if you don't believe it. Otherwise, it's fact. Deed says, and Bird's cam outside the house and his basement at the time. That is true. Nicole says, this just in. Now, oh God, Nicole. I'm not even reading that. Moxley fan says, Bird, cheese pizza day. I love cheese pizza. Everybody loves cheese pizza, Moxley. Except me. When I was a kid, I didn't like pizza. I did not like pizza. I did not like pizza until I was in the hospital and Dad O'Pre's friend brought me a slice of pizza. And this was like a week after I was able to eat solid food for the first time. And I remember it was a Sicilian slice, a square slice of pizza. I didn't think I was even going to like it, but I was so hungry, I had it anyway. And goddamn, if that wasn't the most delicious piece of pizza I'd ever had in my entire fucking life. To this day, I still like pizza again. But now I can't eat pizza because it's too salty. So I have to be very careful how much pizza I eat. Nicole had a cheese pizza today. Good for you. Nicole says National Fat Day. Well, that's one way of putting it. Deed says, just be worried if Ciso Prey is late for never mind. Then you got to pay twice, Deej. National Cellulite Day. That is one of the days, Moxley. Nicole says, what about National Get High as F Day? That's not today. That's April 20th. Project Storytime says, passing through like and hail, Qapla. Project Storytime, thank you. Moxley will be right back. Indeed says we call that Elihu's birthday. That's also. And yes, Salty's birthday, Arabic. Arabic says, yum samosas. Pop Culture Curator says, hello, everyone. Qapla Bird. Hope you are feeling well, sir. Thank you, Pop Culture Curator. I'm feeling better than I have been the last few days, so thank you. Yes, and live long and prosper. There it is. Moxley's back. We will be doing Dear Bops. No, there will be no Jodie Whittaker watch party with Deej. At least there won't be here. Let's see. Arabics is probably after Wordle and some news articles. And Mamo Pray Tale, which we'll do a little bit later. But the doctor got upgraded, says Cinnabon. I don't know. Tim Christ says, you guys need to stop upping yourselves. You'll wind up in the hospital. Deed, you too. Wow. Oh, the length of the streams. I'm never going to do a 48-hour stream. Hell, I'm not going to do a 24-hour stream. Arabic says the head monster looks like a holodeck glitch. The head monster. Deed says, Bill, if you go 250, I will go infinite. Cinnabon says, clock. Oh, no L. Oh, geez. Never mind. Deed says the word is kinko. I doubt the word is kinko. It's not even a word, Deej. It's not even a word. The Jody says Cinnabon. I, I I don't think that's a word either. No, it is not. D just hashtag ban Cinnabon. We're not banning Cinnabon. Captain MKG says, hey, Bird of Prey, happy Labor Day. Any poker today, or are you saving that for tomorrow? Tomorrow, I'm going to try to do a poker stream. To be honest, yeah, there's probably not going to be poker from me, but LDG might play poker later. If he does, I probably play too. Check out LDG at what is it? freethenet.org/underground. LDG can put the link in for sure. I don't know if he's going to play or not. Hail to the chat, says Pop Culture Curator. Arabic Sander says, Bird of Prey teachers also get off. And trust me, they need it. Thank you, Mamo Praying Bird. That's true. As do the kids. Professor Brain, students. Professor Brainy Specs says, Bird of Prey, you said it's only a conspiracy if you don't believe it. That makes no sense. You, Bird of Prey, are making no sense. No, I make perfect sense. And Arabic says, don't librarians get the day off as well? Yes, I think they do. I think they do. Who hacked Deej's YouTube account? Says 47 Yorktown. That's a good question. And Arabic says, Bird of Prey, the blue monster behind your head. Oh, the pillow. The pillow. Yeah, well, we try hard not to worry about that. Okay, let's get serious and get today's Wordle done. All I know is there's an O in it somewhere. After two words, all I know is there's an O in it, and it's not the second letter. So let's see. Mib, let's see. Moi. No. God, yeah. No, there's no L. O is not the second, is definitely not the second letter. So let's see. Is there an R? No, there's no R, there's no L. What's something that could be used as a second letter? As a second consonant. H. Okay. Phone. CHO. Okay, but we can't use an E. We can't use an E. We can't use a Y. There's an I. Bonk. Bonk. No. Bach. Bach? No. Crop? No. Well, maybe it ends in O. P-I Pinko. No. Pinko. Pinko. Ah, okay. Well, it's not. We have a P and an O, and it doesn't end in O. And there's no I. I wonder if there's more than one O. Let's see. Okay, so if it doesn't start, so maybe it ends in P. Swoop. Wait, is there an S? There's no S. Hmm. Whoop. WHOOP. Whoop! Holy shit! Holy shit! Whoop! What was that? Wordle in 4. Wordle in 4. Is that even a word? Whoop! I really did not think I was going to get that one that quickly. I'm impressed. Sometimes I impress myself. Who hacked Deej's account? Gorilla says U.S. factory workers get it off to though mines are unpaid. Captain MKG said flock. Sorry, Captain, but I guess we're all on the O's. Gorilla says bongo. Arabic says just blame the holodeck malfunction. Cinnabon says booby. I would have preferred that, but indeed it wasn't. Professor Brainy Specs says Bird of Prey. The Random Menace would say that it's kind of Star Trek related and having to do with Guinan. Oh, whoopee. That's a. Oh, Mamo Prey says that confused her. Gorilla says bungo, bingo. Oh, Mamo Prey got it in 2, she said. Jedi Bill says, but you will eat green eggs and ham. I'll eat green eggs and ham. What are you, the cat in the hat? Gorilla says bingo. Captain Fandom Nerd says hello. Qapla, Captain. Nice stream this morning. I would have come on, but I was talking with Sisso Prey. She told me overnight she heard strange noises in her house. She messaged me at 1 a.m. because she thought I was awake. It turned out I was still asleep, so I didn't hear her message come in. She heard these weird sounds, but she admittedly she did not turn the television off downstairs because Charlie came up by himself and he was ready to go to bed. And so she said, well, we'll just go to sleep. And she left everything on downstairs. So obviously it was just something that was on the TV. Whoop, there it is, says LDG. And Resolute says, that's not a word. Well, Wordle and the New York Times begs to differ. Are you going to call the New York Times liars? I guess so. LDG says it is. Captain MKG says, verbiv, give, or make a whoop. All at once they were whooping with laughter. Also whooping cough, I guess. Jedi Bill says, I think his name is Job. Birdo Prey. LDG, free the net is LDG. And thank you, Gorilla, for killing the latest bot. We now have 9 Dear Bops. Give me a second, guys. I need to take a pill and put on a commercial. We'll come back. I'm going to check some news articles. We'll have Mamo Prey give her tale, and then we'll get to the Dear Bops. I'll be right back. Gorilla says the New York Times are liars. Hey. I'm not confirming or denying that, but yeah, I'll confirm it.
The Jordan Marsh Super Sale is on.
Super!
This is the place for spectacular store-wide savings.
Super!
Thursday, Friday, and Saturday only. Save 25 to 50% on selected fashions, accessories, housewares, and more.
Super!
Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. 3 days of sizzling savings of 25 to 50%. The super sale at Jordan Marsh is on.
This is the place, Jordan Marsh.
One of the nice things about McDonald's Chicken McNuggets, those hot, tasty pieces of boneless chicken, is that they're packaged in sizes for every appetite. Let me illustrate. Enter the six-pack. A logical lunch. McNuggets 9, a delight for dinner. And a pack of 20, hey, perfect for picnics and parties. Of course, these are mere suggestions. Your appetite will be the true guide.
It's a good time for the great taste of McDonald's.
Hey, right now, Loblaws is having a huge frozen food sale. You can get tremendous value on over 50 frozen food items, frozen vegetables, frozen meat entrees, frozen concentrated juices, ice cream. If it's frozen, you can save plenty. Don't get left out on the cold. Come on in and stock up that freezer. Loblaws frozen food sale. Another reason why more than the price is right. Does he work here?
Jeans and tops from Sears are spring wardrobe essentials on sale this week. First, jeans that fit just $10.99. They fit your shape as well as your size. And you save $5. Add the all-cotton top, now just $6.99. Cool comfort and perma-press too, and you save $3. Jeans in western and cinch waist, tops in stripes and solids. These wardrobe essentials are on sale through Saturday at Sears, where America shops for value.
Give me a mountain and nothing to do. Give me the sunshine, give me a dew. Give me something simple and true. All I need is sunshine and smooth, refreshing Mountain Dew. Yeah, give me a river, give me a dew. Give me my good friends, give me a dew. Give me the sunshine, give me a dew.
Ronald McDonald in Dreamy Breakfast.
This morning it seems Ronald's having a dream.
Time for breakfast, Bertie.
Oh boy, hotcakes!
Hoppin' McHotcakes. After 'em, Bertie.
You betcha!
What? Whoops. Gotcha!
Not you! Ronald, time for breakfast with a friend.
Wow! Yummy hotcake syrup and butter.
Plus juice and milk. Breakfast.
A dream come true.
McDonald's and you.
What's in this little blue egg that keeps Barbara Eden looking slim and trim?
Well, there's only one answer to that. It's Legs Control Top Pantyhose. See? Legs slims and trims but doesn't bind. So you get comfort and control.
Stretching, bending, standing, sitting. There's one pantyhose that's always spinning. Nothing beats a great pair of legs.
Feasting your eyes on the 6-meal cake. Streusel Swirl from Pillsbury. Meal number 1, a fancy feast for your company. Number 2, a yummy
6-meal
dessert for your
cake.
kids. 3, a breakfast cake to make you forget coffee cake.
Breakfast cake.
4, a lunchbox cake that doesn't all stick to the wrapping.
Lunchbox cake.
5, the best break a
The hell's
coffee
a
break ever
lunchbox
had.
cake?
6, dessert the second night, still firm
Second
and
night
fresh.
dessert.
Streusel Swirl, the sensational 6-meal cake.
That's what we need, is more cake meal replacements. What do we got? Okay. Sorry about that, guys. Here we go. Let's check out what's going on in the news. Yes, the judge granted the request for a special master. I don't give a shit. I really don't give a shit about the details. Deutsche Bank says risk of a sterling crisis is rising as Truss becomes UK Prime Minister. Somehow I just don't think that's going to affect me. Canadian police hunt for suspects after 10 killed in Saskatchewan stabbing attacks. Did somebody not say they were sorry? I'm sorry. I really, it's unfortunate that people were killed in Canada Well, you can kill people with knives almost as quickly as you can with guns. I wouldn't have believed it, but holy shit, 10. That is one hell of a stabbing spree. My prayers to those affected. California heat wave, when will it end? That is some scary stuff, that heat out west. The first hurricane of the season arrived, but don't let your guard down. Yes, the first named hurricane. Sean Penn and Ben Stiller permanently banned from Russia by country's foreign ministry. Permanently banned until the war is over and the sanctions end. Yellowstone season 5, everything to expect. I'm not going to read it. I'm just happy to know it's coming out on November 13th, Labor Day, by the old calendar. Star Trek, where was the Enterprise E and Captain Picard during the Dominion War? They were probably patrolling the Romulan neutral zone. Don't need to read this. Well, I guess they're going to. As U.S. scrubs Artemis launch for second time, Chinese analysts slam highly politicalized program. Who gives a shit? NASA's Artemis rocket is a gigantic waste of money, says Bloomberg. Obviously, it's a space program. They're not there to make money. That only happens on TV, like in For All Mankind. Star Trek, where was the Enterprise E? What was this Starfleet powerhouse doing? And could their expertise have been better utilized? No, they couldn't have been, because they were a ship of peace. They were not a ship of war. Out of the vast, I mean, just think about it. One fucking ship, the Shinzon ship, or whatever the hell his name was, I don't even remember. In Nemesis, one Romulan ship, they couldn't even fucking defeat it without ramming the ship. Ramming the ship. And Data still died. Kinda. They were not particularly good at military exercises. Out of the vast array of Star Trek TV shows and movies, for a lot of people, the two highest rated shows are The Next Generation and Deep Space Nine. There are, of course, a plethora of diehard fans who adore the original series and a smattering of people who favor Voyager. But the intrepid adventures of Captain Picard and Commander Sisko hold a special place in the hearts of many fans. And Jesus Christ, Captain Archer doesn't even get fan service. Poor Porthos. What people seem to love about these two was they captured two different sides of Star Trek. TNG was the utopian pinnacle of humanity, following from the original series mission to seek out new life and explore the galaxy. Meanwhile, DS9 focused on the political underbelly of the Federation, as well as the grim reality of war for those fighting on the front lines. The two shows crossed over from time to time, once in First Contact, with the memorable meeting of the two captains in the pilot episode of DS9. But other than that, they were pretty separate. This raises a question, however. In the destructive war between the Dominion and the Federation, millions of Federation ships were destroyed? There's not millions of Federation ships. Thousands of Federation ships were destroyed, not millions, for fuck's sake. This shows a fundamental misunderstanding a fundamental misunderstanding of the size of the fleet. And a lot of them were nearly wiped out. Millions of Federation ships were destroyed, and a lot of them nearly wiped out. What does that even mean? That they were destroyed without being wiped out? How do you destroy a ship without wiping it out? So where was Picard and the Enterprise E during this time? Oh my fucking God. I don't care that somebody's asking these questions. I care that somebody who's not smart enough to understand that millions of ships weren't destroyed while somehow being not wiped out is allowed to ask such questions in such a public venue that fucking Google News makes it on their fucking front page. It hurts. It hurts that somebody so fucking undeserving of an answer will possibly get one. Certainly undeserving of the fucking popularity. The Dominion War is one of the most catastrophic conflicts in Federation history and is treated to be an end to the once utopian Federation altogether. What? Did you watch the same fucking show? During the war itself, there was plenty of references to other ships fighting the good fight, throwing themselves into often suicidal missions to hold back the inevitable forces of the Dominion. The main DS9 spaceship, the USS Defiant, was used a lot, but there is no mention of what the Enterprise E is doing. When built, Picard's iteration of the Enterprise namesake was at the forefront of Federation technology. It was primarily a scientific exploration vessel, which makes perfect sense as to why it didn't have a fucking leading role in a fucking war. It was primarily a scientific exploration vessel, but also packed a serious amount of high-tech firepower. In fact, it possessed some of the most powerful weaponry Starfleet had to offer. It was continued to be, even during the time of DS9 was set, the flagship of Starfleet. With their firepower, advanced shield tech, and proven great leadership, they should have played a massive part in the war. Why didn't they? What great leadership? Captain Picard was a great peacetime captain. His wartime abilities left a lot to be desired. Okay, I'm sorry. He was captured in chain of command. Anybody could have been, but he was, so he certainly didn't win anything there. The battle with the Borg, he was captured, kidnapped from there. These were sad things, and I don't blame him for this, but I'm not going to fucking give him a medal. I wouldn't ask him to be the person to plan the Federation response to an enemy he knows almost nothing about. As far as non-universe reasons go, it mainly came down to money. While Star Trek at this point had fairly decent budget, bringing TNG into the series would have far exceeded their limit. While it might have seen the biggest cost in all this was bringing the crew back together and paying for the addition to the DS9 crew, it was actually the iconic ship that would have cost the most. It's important to remember the Enterprise scene during TNG no longer exists, having been destroyed during Star Trek Generations film. Picard, during this time, captains the Enterprise E, coincidentally even more advanced than his predecessor. This version of the ship was technically owned by Paramount, as they owned the rights to the films, while CBS owned and produced DS9. To include the new Enterprise in a way that worked canonically, CBS would have to pay Paramount a potentially ridiculous amount. Of course, that doesn't cover the in-universe logic as to why the Enterprise did not partake in the war. Well, you know what? Paramount had to pay CBS, obviously, to use the Defiant. So I don't understand why they just couldn't have did a tit for tat deal. You get to use the Defiant, we get to use the Enterprise E. Everybody's happy. Anyway, Starfleet technological development goes not just for the ship, but for the crew. Being the shining beacons of their fields, they were the brightest and the best, excluding Miles O'Brien, of course. While this produced killer combinations, the consequences of them fighting in a bloodthirsty war was too great for the Federation to risk. They were much better utilized patrolling Federation space, carrying out diplomatic missions to keep up morale and recruit others to help. While this might seem like a waste of their potential, the consequences of them being destroyed on the front lines would have been disastrous. Imagine the morale of the Federation after learning the very best they had to offer in both technology and minds had been unceremoniously destroyed. I'm pretty sure at that point, nobody would have given a shit. Okay, you're seeing your friends die. I don't think you were going to miss the Enterprise E any more than miss a ship full of your fucking friends. It also suggested that technically, not canon novels, that the Sovereign class ships, as the Enterprise, were powerful enough to hold their own against the Dominion, at least for a while, without the need for full fleet support. That would explain why, if the Enterprise had come up against the Dominion, it was not mentioned or shown during DS9. They would have been able to dispatch by themselves without involving anyone else. More like lone wolves, they were able to act autonomously without the need of personnel directing orders from those such as the morally ambiguous Cisco and the relatively left out of DS9 narratives. What sets DS9 apart from other Star Trek iterations is that it focuses mainly on the socio-political atmosphere of a people on the brink of destruction from the Dominion, but also before this, from various outside pressures with little support from the saints in the paradise of Starfleet. Because of this, it felt very different from the short stories told in TNG, which is why characters like Q didn't really work when paired up against Cisco rather than Picard or Janeway. If the Enterprise had played a bigger role in the war in the DS9 series, not only would it have been a bad move tactically and cost effectively, but it wouldn't have made sense theme-wise. Well, I agree. We did not need the Enterprise E on DS9. Thomas says there was a second crossover when Worf went looking for his father. That happened at the exact same time, Thomas. That happened at the time the Enterprise was at Deep Space Nine, I believe. Yeah, when Deep Space Nine premiered, the Enterprise showed up on Deep Space Nine. That was when Picard called Cisco to the Enterprise, and Cisco said, "We met in battle at Wolf 359, and blah, 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 blah." At the same time, that week on TNG, they were still at Deep Space Nine, and Worf went looking for his father, and Dr. Bashir just beamed over to the Enterprise and started using their computer to run some simulations until he met Data. And then Data and him talked about his dreams and shit. So yeah, but I consider that the same crossover because they were at the station at the same time. The second crossover happened during First Contact when the Defiant showed up, and they said, "Nice, Worf orders ramming speed," and then Riker says, "It's a tough little ship you got there." Little. Mr. Lodell says, "Bird of Prey, you're reading an article written by an idiot." I know, Mr. Lodell, but they don't fucking publish Star Trek articles written by fucking scholars. The only Star Trek articles you can find are written by idiots. Everything's written by idiots. Thomas says the Enterprise was at DS9. Yes, the same time. Cinnabon says this article resonates with Bird. Nicole Malo says the Big D can stand for toe-to-toe with a Borg tactical cube. No, it can't. It can't. The Enterprise D was literally ripped apart by a Borg tactical cube. Q had to snap his fingers to get them away. Arabic Sanda says, I think they meant other ships were nearly wiped out. Well, that's not what they said. John DeMarco says, this person clearly did not watch the show. Cinnabon says, you don't need to watch if you feel it in your soul. John says, this is speculation, but you could make the case that Starfleet kept the Enterprise away from the front lines because the loss of the flagship would be a big hit to morale. Yeah, and I guess that's what they went off on also. Ms. Lodell says, I, for one, am happy Picard had no part in the Dominion War. He would have screwed up Sisko's plans to get the Romulans in the war, and the Federation would have been screwed. Yeah, I agree. Imagine if Picard was in on that. You'd be like, oh no, we've got to warn the Romulans that they're going to be deceived into coming into the war. John says, wasn't everything under Paramount at that point? I don't know the legalities of it, but apparently, according to this person, apparently not. You called it, John, says Arabic. He says, lucky guess. Cinnabon said the loss of Troy would have boosted morale. I have sad news. Imagine Sisko calling Worf into his office. And he's like, Commander Worf, I've got bad news. I wanted to tell you first before I posted it. The Enterprise D was attacked by the Dominion. And Worf would say, were there any survivors? And Sisko would say, actually, everyone survived except one. And Worf would look and he said, Captain Picard. And Sisko would say, no, Captain Picard's okay, Worf. It was Counselor Troy. I understand you and her had a relationship. And Worf would have been like, Counselor who? Oh, right, yeah. Shame. I'm going to get back to my wife now. And he was like, nice talking to you, Commander. And then Worf would have a chocolate ice cream in memory of Counselor Troy. And she would never be able to crash the ship again. John DeMarco says, Worf looking for his father, not at the same time as Emissary. Are you sure, John? I mean, obviously you're sure. You wouldn't have said it if you weren't. I really thought it was the same time as Emissary. Okay, I'll double check. Professor Brainy Specs says, Bird of Prey, you forget when Dr. Bashir was on the Enterprise TNG in season 6. I thought that was the same time. LDG says that was not a tactical cube in Q-Who. Oh, tactical cube, excuse me. Arabic says the Enterprise E is only sovereign class. Yes. John says that depends on whether or not you count Picard season 2. There is also lower decks, I suppose. Thomas is Arabic Sonder. Well, there should have been a USS Sovereign, and Arabic says interesting. Okay. And Arabic says, and of course, there's the USS Robinson. So that looks like a refit. Yes, the USS Robinson indeed looks like a refit. So the Artemis isn't going back up till November. Some guy gutted over Miguel Sapochunk leaving House of the Dragon as showrunner. Couldn't care less. Biden brings his case to 2 swing states for Labor Day in midterms push. Biden again taxed MAGA GOP members, MAGA GOP members of Congress, full of anger, violence, and hate in Labor Day speech, attacking people for which you yourself are guilty. Strain on California power grid may prompt rolling blackouts. Yeah, not going to be able to charge your electric cars. Everybody get electric cars. Up. Not enough electricity to charge your electric cars. Whoopsie. I don't know. Ages of women killed in Northern California wildfire disclosed. That's tragic. Israeli military admits to Shireen Abu Akleh likely killed by Israeli fire, but won't charge soldiers. I have no idea who that is. Large parts of the Amazon may never recover, major study says. Never is a long time. To preserve Amazon, now, they mean the Amazon rainforest, understand, not Amazon, the giant mega national corporation. To preserve Amazon, indigenous groups call for debt forgiveness. Ukraine says nuclear plant offline after Russian shelling. Good. Well, just shut the fucking plant down. Suicide attack at Russian embassy in Kabul kills 2 diplomats. Listen. I don't like suicide attacks. They're generally without honor. Looking for the best new restaurants in New York? No. Woman robbed at knife point by stranger who first tried to assault her. Well, I guess she got the better end if she was only robbed and not assaulted in that way. Wife of Bed Bath & Beyond exec was in New York City apartment when he jumped. Oh. Bed Bath & Beyond executive jumped to his death from a New York City apartment while his wife was inside. Huh. A sticky situation. Whipped cream confusion cleared by New York senator. So is it still illegal to buy whipped cream? Queens State Senator Joseph Abadou Jr. doesn't have much of a sweet tooth these days. I used to like whipped cream, the exacerbated lawmaker told Gothamist. I used to like it a lot. I really did. But now I don't know. Ada Abo's been spending a lot of time talking about whipped cream lately. More time than he'd like. It all started last month when a bill he sponsored into law last year suddenly found its way into the news. You may recall seeing headlines, why you need to be 21 to buy whipped cream in New York, blah, blah, blah. That was all news to Ada Abo, the veteran lawmaker who led the push last year to ban the sale of whipped cream chargers to those under 21, not the pre-filled cans of whipped cream you find in the grocery store. So he didn't even know what whipped cream chargers are small, bullet-shaped cartridges filled with nitrous oxide. They're used by professional bakers and cooks in reusable whipped cream dispensers. After hearing a complaint from a constituent, he found out they were being sold by the dozens at corner stores in Ozone Park, often in neon-colored packaging that said it was clearly being marketed to kids looking to get high on whippets. That's why he was a little confused when he got a call from a reporter. When he got a call from a reporter 3 weeks ago asking him about the new law that had actually taken effect late last year. I got a call from a Buffalo reporter asking about banning the sale of canisters. I said no, chargers. And she said canister. And I say no, cartridges. And I'm like, why does she keep saying canister? Ada Abu soon found out why. Signs started popping up in grocery stores and corner stores warning customers they had to be 21 and show ID to purchase cans of whipped cream. That's when things get a little sticky. The law specifically applies only to whipped cream chargers, which it defines as a steel cylinder or a cartridge filled with nitrous oxide that is used as a whipping agent in whipped cream dispenser. But a basic can of whipped cream, like the kind you would top a sundae with, does come preloaded with a nitrous oxide charge inside the tube. So when Kent Sopris, president of New York Association of Convenience Stores, caught wind of the law in June, after starting his job, he advised store owners to be cautious. I looked into it. I saw there was a law. I told my members immediately as I interpreted it, you should start IDing. Last month, the news went viral, and images you must be 21 to purchase signs popping up on whipped cream shelves across the state, finding their way onto local newscasts. So Ada Abo went to work putting not one, but 2 press releases last week, trying to rein the story back in. He said he checked with the state's attorney general's office, which agreed with his interpretation. The ban applies only to the small nitrous oxide cartridges, not the full cans pre-filled whipped cream. To be clear, it's a charger of cartridge that's being banned. Sopris was satisfied with the explanation on Wednesday. His organization emailed its members, including a copy of the press release. You do not need to ID customers in order to sell cans of whipped cream. Jesus Christ. Took us a week to figure this out. I'm kind of shocked. I'm shocked that the media didn't get it right. OPEC agrees to cut production by 100,000 barrels a day, so oil is going to go up again. EU races to shield industry as Russia gas stoppage shakes markets. Instagram owner Meta fined 405 million pounds sterling over handling of teens' data. Donald Trump goes on nonsensical rant about electric cars. We need to get rid of them. It's only nonsensical if you don't like it. Technology. Apple Watch Pro CAD renders show flat screen design with extra button, protrusion housing. Who cares? Once rumored iPhone 14 features we aren't expecting anymore. Google Chrome's latest update has security fix you should install ASAP. Absolutely. Always keep Chrome up to date. The morning after, what to expect at the iPhone 14 launch event? Nothing, because I expect nothing, because I don't use Apple products. Anything here? Box office shake up. Top Gun Maverick is #1. Spider-Man #3. Wow, I didn't know Spider-Man was still in the theaters. Sports, we can skip that. Anyway, science. SLS fuel leak likely to delay Artemis 1 launch to October. I heard November. Well, SpaceX launches 51 Starlink satellites into space. And NASA's iconic Voyager 1 marks 45 years in space. Wow. Supersonic asteroid 10 times faster than a bullet to pass Earth. What's the chances of it crashing in? That's what I want to know. Mysterious outbreak in Argentina solved. Legionnaire's disease. That sickened 11. Ultra processed foods linked with heart disease, bowel cancer, and death. What is ultra processed? Oh, hot dogs. Of course they are. A synthetic embryo made without a sperm or egg could lead to infertility treatments. What? Isn't that just cloning yourself? Synthetic embryo made without sperm or egg. Somebody told me about this. #1. Scientists have created mouse embryos in a dish, and it could one day help families hoping to get pregnant. Well, who the hell wants to get pregnant with a mouse embryo? I'm kidding. After 10 years of research, scientists created a synthetic mouse embryo that began forming organs without a sperm or egg. All it took was stem cells. Stem cells are unspecialized cells that can be manipulated into becoming mature cells. Didn't we see this on Enterprise? The mouse embryo model not only develops a brain, but also a beating heart, all the components that go to make up the body. It's just unbelievable we got it this far. This has been the dream of our community for years. Your community's dream was to create a mouse embryo without a sperm or an egg. That is one fucked up dream. And we finally done it. The paper is an exciting advance and tackles a challenge scientists face studying mammal embryos in utero. Says some professor of biology at California Institute of Technology in Pasadena, Caltech. These develop outside the mother and therefore can be visualized through critical development stages that were previously difficult to assess. The researchers hope to move the mouse embryos to creating models of natural human pregnancies, many of which fail in early stages. By watching the embryos in a lab instead of a uterus, scientists get a better view into the process to learn why some pregnancies might fail and how to prevent it. I don't think you should be observing a human pregnancy outside a uterus. For now, researchers have only been able to track about 8 days of development in the mouse synthetic embryos, but the process is improving, and they're already learning a lot. It reveals fundamental requirements that need to be fulfilled to make the right structure of the embryo and its organs. Where it stands, the research doesn't apply to humans, and there needs to be a high degree of improvement for this to be truly useful. Researchers see important uses for the future. The process can be used immediately to test new drugs. Right, great. Yes, why would that be controversial? To test drugs on embryos that aren't even implanted in people. It could also help build synthetic organs for people who need transplants. I definitely saw this on Star Trek Enterprise. It didn't work out well. Actually, it did work out perfectly, but it didn't work out well for a trip. Anyway, in utero, the embryo needs 3 types of stem cells to form. One becomes body tissue, another, the sac where the embryo develops, and a third, the placenta connecting the parent and fetus. In this lab, researchers isolated the 3 types of stem cells from embryos and cultured them in a container angled to bring the cells together and encourage crosstalk between them. Day by day, they were able to group cells to form in a more and more complex structure. There are ethical and legal considerations. No shit. To move to, before moving to synthetic humans. Yeah. Anyway, the mystery to human life. The early weeks of fertilization. Damn. So many pregnancies fail at this time, before most women realize they're pregnant. This period is foundation for everything else. If you don't know you're pregnant, then how is this going to help? Whatever. I think I'm really not too happy with this whole line of science. I don't know. Mamo Pray, you had a tail?
Yes.
Would you like to? I will put the Mamo Pray camera up in a second. As Mamo Pray comes over, let me just check the comments. Thomas Boss's Bird of Prey, DS9 premiere January 3rd. Birthright was February 22nd. There were 3 TNG episodes between them. I get it, Thomas, but it's just because, you know, the TNG, the timeline between them, I would bet the star dates line up. I just don't think they were able to predict exactly when DS9 was going to premiere. I don't think they were at DS9, left DS9, came back 3 weeks later, and left again. I just think it was as close as they could get to the two, you know, things happening at once. But that's just my opinion. Dan Ben says, Bird of Prey, I sent you some stuff on Twitter about the creator of Babylon 5 doing something new with the original cast show, still alive, whatever it will be announced at Comic-Con next year. Thank you, Dan. I did see it. I didn't go too far into it because I'm just not all that into Babylon 5 myself. And I was pretty busy this week. But I do have it and I appreciate it. Okay, Mamo Pray Tale is coming up. Yeah, you can come up. Mamo Pray will be coming momentarily. John DeMarco says, synthetic humans. What could go wrong? JP says, I don't know. Ask Deckard. And Captain Fandom Nerd says, yay, Mamo Pray. And after this, we will go to the Dear Bops. John DeMarco says, hail, Mamo Pray. Okay, Mamo Pray.
Hi, all. Hope everyone's having a good Labor Day or whatever day you're celebrating. I did hear Bird's tale of Labor Day earlier, and I can attest that some of the things he said were absolutely true. I would not swear that they all were true, though. But anyway, this is a true tale I'm about to tell. And I think I might have told it early on. I don't know, a couple of years ago. But, oh, what year was it? 2003. I went to work for JetBlue Airways. And there you had to go 3 weeks training. And it was a classroom training. I don't know. To get to know the airlines. Some people had worked at airlines, others didn't. But since your start date, everyone that was in the class, I don't know, 20, 30 people, you all started the same day. And this was a job in customer service in the airport. So your seniority was based on your start date. So they had to go a little bit further than that. And they would give seniority to the oldest person in the class, and it would be your age. So that the oldest person in the class, say, was 30 numbers ahead of the youngest person. And I was second to oldest. And there was a instructor and an assistant instructor. Now, the assistant instructor, right at the end of there weren't 30 at the end. There were tests and whatnot, and many people, I don't know, somewhere between 5 and 10 didn't pass the classes, so maybe there were 20 of us left. But I was still the second oldest in the class. And the assistant instructor, he was a kid. When I say kid, he might have been right out of college. Maybe he was 24 years old. And at this point, I was 50. So I knew I was going to be second to oldest. So as he's asking everybody his age, your birth date, I don't even know if they're allowed to do that anymore. But this was how seniority was back in 2003. So anyway, I go up and I'm talking to him and I give him my birth date. And I said to him, oh, but you do know, in 1951, December came before September. He said, what? I said, yeah, and I'm standing there, and I wish you guys could see me now. I'm moving my arms, like, up in the sky, like, pointing to the sky. I said, yeah, it was done just that 1 year, because it had something to do with the sun and the stars and the moon and the tides. But anyway, after August, they put December and then September. So just remember that when you're doing the scheduling and giving out seniority numbers. Well, sure enough, I knew the guy that was older than me was born in September. So when the list came out, and I really did feel bad because I didn't think this guy was going to fall for that stupid tale. Don't you know he had me first? Well, and the idea of picking seniority was you got to pick your shifts. And since it was the middle of a bid, I don't know how else to explain it, but like there was one shift there, a daytime shift with Saturday and Sunday off. And well, the guy that was older than me, Kevin, he went nuts. No, he said, you're not first, you're second, I'm first. I laughed like heck. And I turned around and I said, I forget that Alex's name was. I said, Alex, you really believed me when I handed you that line of rubbish? And he said, you were so sincere. I believed you. Anyway, he had to redo the whole thing. And it was computerized. He just had to fix 2 things. But yeah, I mean, I guess you really can get away with kind of if you really sound sincere. Anyway, when Joe said today that something I heard him reference the moon about Labor Day, and then I laughed. Of course, Kevin picked the shift with weekends off. Only lasted a couple of months, and then you had to rebid, and your seniority was all the way down behind everybody that was, hired before you. But it was fun. It was a good job. Not pay-wise, but a fun job. Anyway, that's my tale for the day. And I hope everyone enjoyed. I hope everyone had a long weekend, and I hope you enjoyed it.
Eric Sanders he thinks that he liked you, Mama Bray.
Who liked me?
The kid who.
Oh, okay. No, I think he thought I was like his mother, and I wouldn't do something like that. He didn't know the other side of me, that I can be a jokester. Like on one April Fool's Day, I fired a butcher when I was a manager in a supermarket. And I went in, and he wasn't getting along with the boss, and I knew it. And I used that as I went in. I said, "I'm really sorry I have to do this, but it's my job." And Joe found out, blah, 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 that you did this. And
Not me, Joe.
No, Joe was my boss's name. I said, and he said, "I didn't do that." I said, "Well, apparently somebody in here," and I was in the butcher's room. Understand, he's got all these sharp knives next to him. And I walked in, and I said, "Well, somebody told Joe you did it, and I've got to let you go. I'm really sorry, but, he said, "When?" I said, "Right now. This is it." He says, "Well, this is my knife, and I'm taking it with me." I said, "Yeah, sure," because a lot of times butchers bring their own knives. But I know he's carrying this big knife, and I get halfway through the store, and people are looking at us, the other workers, and I just turn around, and I said, "April Fools," and ran because he had that knife.
Mama Bray, you can't do that to a man.
I did it.
Not
He got even. You want to know what he did? He got even. He waited maybe a month.
Revenge is a dish best served.
Yeah. Well, another butcher calls me on over the intercom in a supermarket. "Joanne, come to the butcher's room, whatever they called it. ASAP, emergency." Again, everybody in the store is listening. Now I'm running down the aisle. I walk in, and they say, "Robert cut off his finger." And here's blood dripping down. And he goes, and he's got the bloody finger on one side in his hand, and the hand. I said, "Oh my God, oh my God." I call 911, and I'm panicking. They got back at me. It was a piece of, I don't know what, some kind of meat that really resembled the finger, but it was all bloody and hanging. And of course, he had blood on his other hand, and the finger just bent back at the knuckle. But I thought he was holding his. Oh God, yes, they got even. I never played a April Fool prank after that.
At least not on a butcher.
Not on anybody. Not a prank like that. Yeah. Oh well. Now I'm leaving, guys.
Thank you, Mama Bray.
You're welcome.
Yeah, just be careful if you're ever working with Mama Pray, and she think you're fired. You think you're being fired on April Fool's Day. You know, don't take it so seriously until you're out of the building completely. Certainly don't, God forbid, attack somebody and then you end up in prison for the rest of your life for a practical joke gone wrong. Man, just lucky. Lucky, I guess, that things worked out.
Yeah, I guess so.
Anyway, um,
Dear Bops.
yes, I know we're doing Dear Bops. I'm just checking the chat. Mama Pray says thank you to everybody for listening. Professor Brandon Speck says greetings to Mama Pray. Thomas Potts says birthright star date is 46578.4. Emissary is 46379.1. 465463. So emissary takes place a little before birthright. I don't know how to do those conversions. I tried to do a conversion while Mama Pray was talking, but it went back to 1968 as the date. Obviously, it's not 1968, so I don't know how to do the conversion. As far as I know, that could be maybe 24 hours difference. I don't know. Even if it was 2 days difference, it really doesn't make that big of a deal. It still could have happened at the same time, their same visit. Vic Saunders says good vibes and love to Mama Pray. And Ed S says, haha, I like Mama Pray too. Thank you, Ed. Professor says, finally we get an honest, true story on today's Birdo Pray 5 stream. Oh man, the head monster is back, isn't it? Ed S says, this freaking goes great to Led Zeppelin. Led Zepp 4. And Ed also says, all the Wajas, that's a real priceless New York accent. Gorillas is laughing thanks to Mama Pray. Professor says, thank you, Mama Pray. And Ed S is from Philly. You can fub my New York accent all day. I don't mind. Professor Lowell's at 1968. That's what I did. I put it in and it came up with 1968. Ed says, oopsie doopsie, I'm too drunk. Later, dude. Take care, Ed. Hope you sober up. Professor Brainy Specs says, it's the power of math, people. John DeMarco says, that would be a difference of a few months based on the star dates. Well, you know what? They make mistakes sometimes. Maybe somebody entered the wrong star date, just like we know somebody entered the wrong registry on a shuttle in Caretaker. Thomas says, it's like arguing with Salty without yelling or name calling. I'm not. Captain Fandom Nerd says, thank you to Mama Pray. Thank you. She appreciates it. She really does. Okay, so let's head on over to the Dear Bops. We're now at 13 Dear Bops. Dear Bop, I have found the perfect game for you. Crazygames.com, Bird of Prey. Bird of Prey flying. Play now. Bird of Prey incoming. Unity game. Crazy games. Bird of Prey chase mode Finding mode, explore mode, music toggle. Now let's do chase mode. Bird of prey. Okay. Chasing. Use arrow or WSAD keys and move the mouse in the direction of flight. Be sure to keep the mouse in center for perfect flights. Start. Man, this is a very slow game. No. Yeah. Get the first place. This is, I don't know what the deal is, but this game is way too slow to be playable. I might check it out later in a different browser or something. But thank you, I guess, for that submission. Dear Bop, so Coca-Cola is on sale for real cheap right now, but according to Coca-Cola, I have to be less white. How do I be less white? Well, I heard white men can't jump. So I guess the more you jump, the less white you'll be. So start jumping. Double your amount of jumping. Your height, specifically. Dear Bob, I think it's unfair they call Biden a certain word because the certain person they call him was actually elected. Actually, he wasn't. Just to be clear, it doesn't work like that. It didn't work like that. There was no elections like that. It's just the way the government didn't work in Germany at that time. That you didn't get to choose your prime minister or whatever he was technically. The party chose the leader. But I understand what you're saying, and unfortunately, without knowing actual history, it's just a bad joke. Dear Bob, we have been trying to reach you about your bed's extended warranty. For only $19.99 a month, your warranty will be extended 2 more years. Well, the reality is it's a hell of a lot more than $19.99 a month. And now, thank you for reminding me. And we are actually having a problem getting confirmation that the warranty's been extended. That's surprisingly accurate information for a random Dear Bob. Dear Bob, with so many scams out there, it's hard to tell what is legitimate and what's a scam. For $19.95, I'll send you a book on how not to be scammed. You know, that might be a good price for such a book. Dear Bob, I'm running a new campaign for the 22 elections, Asteroid 2022. Can we count on your endorsement? No, I already voted for the asteroid many times, and it hasn't come yet. I am not convinced that voting for the asteroid will do anything in 2022. Dear Bob, you thought it was over, but Join the fun as Deej goes for the gold with a 96-hour live stream. The doctor is in and will be watching Jodie in her best performance as the 13th Doctor. And there's a link. Deej's 96-hour live stream. Yes, it's not a joke. For waiting for Deej to actually go live in 30 minutes. 31 minutes. Well, we'll see what happens. I highly doubt that to be accurate, but we'll see what happens. Dear Bob, thank you for having me over on Saturday night, even though you fell asleep early. P.S. You have a nice computer. The mouse and keyboard work great. You're welcome, Nephew O'Prey. I noticed you didn't sign it, but that's who must have been here. Executive producer Sal Leibowitz says Qapla vertebrae. Only losers would vote for the asteroid in 2024. Smart people like me are voting for the plague of locusts. Dear Bop, what are recommendations for expanding one's channel, i.e. sites you have your channel promoted on, tactics for thumbnail creation, etc. Captain MKG. Well, Captain, I don't have the best track record. My channel's been pretty much at the same place for the last year. But I would say if you do a thumbnail, and I don't do this myself, but I know from what people say, it's better if you do a thumbnail. If you put yourself in the thumbnail, that really seems to help. Make sure the letters used in the thumbnail are big and the text is short. Realize that the thumbnail can be tiny. Somebody could be looking at it on their phone, and there could be 5 other thumbnails, wide and 5 other thumbnails tall. And, it's really tiny. So don't put little text on the thumbnail, even if you can read it on a computer screen. More than half the people are using mobile these days. So, it'd be hard to read. So as simple and as little text as possible to get the message through. Make sure you put a very good description of your video in the description area. Get as many keywords as you can. That's going to be one of the things used for when people are searching for videos. And as for promoting it, you can always send it to me or somebody like me in the community. We're happy to promote channels. But before you worry about promoting it on like a really big channel like Doomcock or Nerdrotic type, make sure you've got quite a bit of content. I've seen a lot of people promote their channels, but have, 1 or 2 videos up. And frankly, they don't get nearly as many people subscribing as people who already have 100+ videos up, because people don't know what the hell the channel's about. They, for some reason, even though it's completely free to subscribe, a lot of people won't subscribe because they don't know what your channel's about. You might know what your channel's about, and even I might know what your channel's about if you told me. But the vast majority of people, they see 1 or 2 videos, they've got no idea. they see 100 videos, they might only watch 1 or 2, but they're much more comfortable subscribing at that point. So I wouldn't even bother trying to promote your channel on a big, massive channel until you have a significant backlog of videos that could keep people busy for, the better part of an afternoon, if not a weekend. But that's just my opinion. Professor says he's ignored by Bird of Prey. I don't see what I ignored from you, Professor. You said Lowell, 1968. You said thank you to Mama Prey, and you were laughing. It's the power of math. I read all that, Professor. Okay, I skipped wow, how impatient the younger generation is, because it wasn't to Bird of Prey 5. Thomas says, there's less suffering if the asteroid hits than a prolonged plague. I agree. Thomas says, how very salty of him. Professor says, Thomas, he must not be as careful with the sodium intake as he claims. Dan Ben says, Bird of Prey, lots of YouTube thumbnails with a red arrow pointing to something, and a lot of the time the video has nothing to do with the arrow is pointing. Well, Dan, whenever I see a video like that, I tell YouTube I'm not interested in that channel anymore. I don't block the channel, but I go to YouTube and says, don't show me this channel, this thumbnail, and they say, I click on why, and I say, I'm not interested in the channel anymore. I don't know if it does anything, but I'm done. I'm done with people who try to clickbait me. I'm done. I'm not going to take it. I'm not going to go on their channel and make a fuss about it, because that's being an asshole. If I'm not going to visit your channel anymore, that's it. You're just not going to see me there. I'm not going to put some whole thing that, oh, I don't like you anymore, so I'm not coming back. No, I don't. If you're not coming back to my channel, that's fine. Just leave. I don't need an explanation. And I'm not going to give you an explanation, because you know damn well, and I'm not saying you. I'm not saying you to Dan or anybody who's watching this. But if somebody's a clickbait channel, they know damn well they're a clickbait channel. And if you're going to be a clickbait channel, I don't have time for you. So goodbye. That's all I need. Professor Brainy Specs says, I also said, be less white, I'm pink. Ask Shran. Well, I'm sorry, Professor. I skipped it. If it didn't have at Wordle Prey 5, there are just some comments that got skipped. John DeMarco says, organizing your videos into playlists can be helpful as well. That is true, John, and that is something I do. I organize my videos into playlists. Unfortunately, a lot of YouTubers don't seem to know what playlists are even for or how they work, but they are helpful. Gorilla's random thoughts. So I clickbaited you, Bird. No, you didn't clickbait me, Gorilla. I've been to your streams. Your streams' problem is it's very hard to do a watch party. If you don't have a screenshot or something as to what your watch party is, frankly, it's a stream that there's just not a hell of a lot going on. So I know I do my fair share of watch parties, and I appreciate people that come, but to be frank, I'm always surprised at the number of people who come. But I also know that at least I am sending a screenshot so people have some idea what's going on. But that's my opinion. Doesn't mean I'm right or I'm wrong. It's just what life is. No, there's nobody in my chat that I've stopped going to their channel. Dan Ben says, I find it annoying when people use the word Easter eggs incorrectly when talking about video games. Yeah, that's another one. Well, that's another type of clickbait, or secrets, or things you might have missed, or things you've definitely missed. Because I tell you, you say you might have missed, I didn't miss it. You know, there's 10 things you might have missed in the last episode of whatever, and like 9 of them I knew damn well, and the 1/10th thing, who cares? Dear Bop, I can't poop. How do I solve this problem? You want to order from McDonald's a chocolate milkshake, or, you know, from anywhere really. Wendy's, White Castle, Burger King. Hell, you can go to Baskin Robbins if you really have to. A chocolate shake, and Jesus, give yourself an hour and be ready. Be ready for it to hit. You know, probably want to, if you can, get a laptop or set up on the toilet, because you might not have time to make it when the time hits. For God's sake, don't be driving around Arizona, unlike what I did. Thomas Botts is Bird of Prey. When's the last Rock Solid premiere you showed up to? The other day. I was there. I said hello to him. He said hello back. I hung out for the video. I was there. Professor says, buy Taco Bell and order anything. Taco Bell for me doesn't do it. Chocolate shake, though, absolutely. JP's gets a good greasy burger from mom and pop place. Dear Bop, so making people out of mice now, inbreeding doesn't seem so bad now, does it? Amen Hopetep 1. I don't know what that means. But no, inbreeding still sounds pretty bad. Gorilla, I was joking. No problem, Gorilla. Although I understand it was a joke, but also I know all jokes have some little amounts of truth to them, and I get it. And listen, there's nothing personal. You may have, I feel like you may have wondered that, and I just wanted to give you an honest answer. I don't hold it against you at all. I just trying to be transparent. Dear Bob, other notable events in 1951. Major events. North Korean offensive pushes beyond the 38th parallel. Truce negotiations fail. Congress passes 22nd Amendment, limiting president to 2 terms. Stalin claims the Soviet Union has the atomic bomb. Julius and Ethel Rosenberg convicted of passing U.S. nuclear secrets to the Soviet Union. Both are sentenced to death. General Douglas MacArthur, damn it. General Douglas MacArthur relieved of command in Korea. Senator Estes Coffer begins investigation of gambling and organized crime. Business and the economy. Businessman J.X. Coxey leads unemployment protests in Washington. Science and technology. Mass production of penicillin and streptomycin reaches records. Electricity generated from nuclear power for the first time. And in sports, the New York Yankees over New York Giants, 4-2. And Joe DiMaggio announces his retirement from baseball. Okay. Was that this day in 1951? or just 1951 in general. Obviously, another big day in 1951 was later in that year, in December. Arabic Sino says Del Taco, Mike. You know what? I only had Del Taco once, and I did get a bit of a stomach issue from it. Although it was really came back out my mouth, if I remember. Thomas is Gorilla. Bird sent Uncle Paulie. I did not send Uncle Paulie. Gorilla's got his Second Amendment ready. Dan Ben says, don't eat bread that goes green. Yeah, that's very hard to know on St. Patrick's Day. Are you eating moldy bread or just St. Patrick's Day green bread? Dear Bop, I don't think for myself. I hate shows I don't watch. I have full hatred for Disney. I even blame Disney for stuff they don't do. And when Disney does something good like Spider-Man, No Way Home, I claim it was because of Sony. I believe whatever Nerdrotic and Doomcock say. I am a proud member of the Phantom Menace until they tell me not to be. Well, sir, you sound like an idiot. I also have not heard Nerdrotic and Doomcock tell people to act like that. So maybe you did. I don't watch every episode they do, but I try to catch a lot of them. Sounds like a particularly sounds like you listen to somebody else say those things, and now you've got your own wrong impression of how the Phantom Menace works. But it's your prerogative, and you know, I think it's perfectly fine if that's what you believe. Gorilla says Bird of Prey wasn't MAGA there fired for wanting to drop like 100 nukes on Chinese-Korean border to make a giant radiation wall. MacArthur. Wasn't MacArthur fired? I don't know if that's why he was fired. I do remember something to that effect. I don't know how true it is. Springtime says, Bird of Prey, congratulations on getting your PPO re-signed against True Actress that played Punky Brewster. Against that actress that played Punky Brewster. Your PPO. Dan Ben says, once I ate a caramel brownie and got all ill all weekend. Oh. Was it a special brownie? Professor says Punky Brewster. I heard of Punky Brewster, but I forget who they were. And they were like when I was a kid. I never watched Punky Brewster. JP says Soli Moon Fry. Soli Moon Fry? I have no idea. Dear Bop, how can I deal with Deej? He is the father of my children, and he never talks to me, nor does he ever pay child support. Please help me, dear Bop. Do you know what? You got to get in line. Deej has a whole mess of people waiting in line for child support. So you're gonna have to get in line. But maybe you I don't know how real this is. Head over to Deej's live stream starting in 12 minutes, and let's see him watch Jody Whittaker, and clearly he's not clickbaiting us. If he is, he knows the price. If he is, he knows the price. Ed S says, okay, fine. I will keep the monster. Okay, Ed. I hope you do. Anyway, guys, so I think there we are. There, the head monster's gone. Yeah. I feel like I've been talking for 2 hours. I have been talking 2 hours, except for when Mama Pray was here. Thank you all for hanging out. I honestly don't know if there's gonna be a poker game tonight or not. Check out LDG's backstage. Maybe if he's listening, he can post if there will be. Otherwise, tomorrow, probably somewhere between 2 and 4 p.m., we'll be doing a poker game. And yeah, we'll figure out from there. Thank you all for hanging out. And Captain Fandom Nerd says, this is not Deej doing it. Well, the link is to Deej's channel, so I don't know how it's not Deej doing it. Oh, because LDG has admin power on Deej's channel, doesn't he? Well, that's Deej. Still, if Deej lets LDG have admin power, it's still Deej's responsibility for what goes on his channel. LDG puts in the link to freethenet.org underground. 54.5 Access Radio says hashtag Deej is the daddy. And Pop Culture Curator says, I have my Star Trek, the animated series review today. Very cool, Pop Culture Curator. Please paste in the link if you've got the time. And let me know. When, is it 9 p.m.? I think I saw it's at 9 p.m. Eastern tonight. I might be off by an hour or two. But please post in the link if you've got it, Pop. John DeMarco says, have a good evening, everyone. And Professor says the 96-hour stream was just removed. Okay. So no clickbait then today. Sending prayers and love. Hey, Bruce Lombardo of Dick's Division. Qapla. Professor, Deej needs to rethink that decision. Well, somebody does. 9 p.m. 9 p.m. Eastern, Pop Culture Curator will be doing the animated series review, Star Trek animated series review. And I'll try to get there for a few minutes, although 9 o'clock is about between 9 and 10 lately is when I've been going to sleep. Qapla all, thank you for coming. Bird out. But wait, there's more. The video might be over, but there's more fun to be had. First, please make sure you're subscribed to the channel and have clicked that bell icon to get notifications of new videos in your YouTube feed. Share this video on social media to help this channel fight the algorithm that favors big media. Also check out www.birdoprey5.com for links to my other channels, various social media accounts, merch store, Dear Bop affiliate links, and all your Birdo Prey 5 needs. At the main Birdo Prey 5 YouTube channel, you can find all sorts of live streams and unlisted videos, YouTube membership options, and a community section with polls and updates on the channel. On the secondary channel, Birdo Prey 5X, you can find overflow content that doesn't always make the main channel. Subscribe to both channels, please. Thanks for watching. Remember, I stream almost every day. This is Birdo Prey 5 saying goodbye, world. Until next time. P.S. Hail Sassy, hail Charlie, and of course, hail Kuroga.